African founding fathers were influential leaders who drove their nations to independence from various colonial rulers. They played key roles in shaping the political and social foundations of their countries. These leaders inspired national unity, self-determination, and development in Africa's early years of independence. In today's video, therefore, we are going to cover all the 54 African countries with their founding fathers. Number 54, Algeria, Ahmed Ben Bella. Ahmed Ben Bella was a key figure in Algeria's struggle for independence from the French colonial rule. After Algeria gained independence in 1962, he became the country's first prime minister and later the first president of Algeria, serving from 1963 until he was overthrown by a coup in 1965. Number 53, Morocco, King Mohammed V. King Mohammed V led Morocco's struggle for independence from the French and Spanish colonial rule and became the symbol of national unity. After leading the country to independence from France in 1956, he transformed the nation from a sultanate into the Kingdom of Morocco and became the first king. Number 52, Tunisia, Habib Bourguiba. Habib Bourguiba was the first president of Tunisia, serving from 1957 to 1987. He led the country to independence from France, becoming the founding father of modern-day Tunisia. Number 51, Libya, King Idris I. King Idris I led Libya's struggle for independence from the Italian colonial rule and the British administration, becoming Libya's first and only king. When Libya gained independence in 1951, he would later be overthrown by Muammar Gaddafi in 1966. Number 50, Egypt, Gamal Abdel Nasser. Gamal Abdel Nasser was a key figure in the Egyptian Revolution of 1952, which ended the monarchy of King Farouk and abolished British dominance in Egypt. He became the prime minister in 1954 and later the second president of Egypt from 1956 until his death in 1970. Number 49, Sudan, Ismail al-Ahzari. Ismail al-Ahzari was a key figure in the Sudan struggle for independence from British and Egyptian rule. Under his leadership, Sudan achieved independence in 1956, with al-Ahzari serving as the country's first prime minister and later as the president from 1965 to 1969. Number 48, the Central African Republic, Barthelemy Boganda. Barthelemy Boganda led the struggle for independence from France and is considered the nation's founding father, though he died before full independence. He became the first prime minister of the Central African Republic in 1958, laying the groundwork for full independence. Number 47, Chad, Francois Tombalbaye. Francois Tombalbaye led the fight for independence from France, becoming the country's first president after independence in 1960. He ruled from 1960 until his assassination in a military coup in 1975. Number 46, Equatorial Guinea, Fransisco Macias Nguema. Fransisco Macias Nguema was elected the first president upon independence from Spain in 1968. He is considered one of the most brutal dictators in history, establishing a one-party state and declaring himself the president for life. He was overthrown and executed by his nephew, Teodoro Obiang Nguema Basogo, who has been serving as the president from then until to date. Number 45, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Joseph Kasavubu. Joseph Kasavubu became the first president upon independence from the Belgian in 1960, forming a coalition government with Prime Minister Patrice Lumumba. After presiding over years of weak government, Kasavubu was deposed in a military coup by Mobutu Sese Seko in 1965. Number 44, Republic of the Congo, Fulbert Youlou. Fulbert Youlou, a former Catholic priest, became the first president in 1960 after the country gained independence from France. His plan for a one-party state sparked massive riots in 1963, and Youlou was overthrown and forced into exile. Number 43, Cameroon, Ahmadou Ahidjo. Ahmadou Ahidjo was the first president of Cameroon, serving from independence in 1960 until his surprise resignation in 1982. A key figure in the country's move towards independence, he played a key role in the country's move towards independence from the French colonial rule. Number 42, Gabon, Léon Mba. Léon Mba was the first president of Gabon, serving from independence in 1960 until his death in 1967. He established a single-party presidential regime and was considered a close ally of France. He later died of cancer in a Paris hospital in 1967. Number 41, Angola, Antonio Agostinho Neto. Antonio Agostinho Neto was the first president of Angola, a key figure in Angola's fight for independence from the Portuguese. He served as the country's first president from independence in 1975 until his death in 1979. Number 40, Sao Tome and Principe, Manuel Pinto da Costa. Manuel Pinto da Costa was the first president of Sao Tome and Principe, serving after the country got independence from Portugal in 1975 until 1991. Number 39, Mozambique, Samora Machel. Samora Machel was the first president of Mozambique, serving from the country's independence on June 25, 1975, until his death in a plane crash on October 19, 1986. He was a revolutionary and military commander who led the country to independence against the Portuguese colonial rule. Number 38, South Africa, Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela was the first democratically elected president of South Africa, serving from 1994 to 1999. His inauguration marked the end of centuries of white rule and the beginning of a new, non-racial and democratic South Africa. Number 37, Namibia, Sam Nujoma. Sam Nujoma was the first president of Namibia, serving from 1990 to 2005 after he guided the country to independence from the apartheid South Africa. His leadership aimed at national reconciliation, which helped unite the country after the deep division caused by the war for independence. Nujoma was elected for 3 terms and he stepped down in 2005, paving the way for a democratic handover of power. Number 36, Botswana, Sir Seretse Khama. Sir Seretse Khama served as Botswana's first president from 1966 to 1980 after he led the country's struggle for independence from the British. His leadership is celebrated for transforming Botswana from one of the world's poorest countries into a stable and prosperous democracy. He ensured the country's diamond wealth benefited all citizens and fostered transparent institutions. Number 35, Eswatini, King Sobhuza II. The first monarch of modern Eswatini was King Sobhuza II, who came to the throne in 1921. He led the country to independence from the British in 1968 and ruled until his death in 1982. He is regarded as the world's longest reigning monarch in history. Number 34, Lesotho, King Moshoeshoe II. King Moshoeshoe II became the paramount chief in 1960 and was crowned king when Lesotho gained full independence from Britain in 1966. Number 33, Ghana, Kwame Nkrumah. Kwame Nkrumah led Ghana to be the first African country to gain independence in 1957 after fighting against the British colonial regime. He became the first prime minister and the president of Ghana, and is celebrated as a Pan-Africanist icon. Number 32, Senegal, Léopold Sédar Senghor. A poet, philosopher, and intellectual, Senghor was the first president of Senegal from 1960 to 1980. He led Senegal's struggle for independence from the French and became the first president of Senegal. He was known as a strong advocate for African culture and black empowerment. Number 31, Guinea, Ahmed Sékou Touré. The first president of Guinea, Sékou Touré, was a nationalist and Pan-African statesman who led the country's fight for independence from the French, becoming the first president from 1958 until his death in 1984. Number 30, Mali, Modibo Keita. A founding member of African Democratic Rally, Keita became the first president of Mali in 1960 to 1968 after Mali gained independence from the French. A dedicated nationalist, Keita was guided by the principle of freeing African countries from colonial influence and was an early supporter of the Casablanca bloc, which favored African political unity. Number 29, Côte d'Ivoire, Félix Houphouët-Boigny. Félix Houphouët-Boigny was the first president of Côte d'Ivoire, serving from independence in 1960 until his death in 1993. He liberated his country from the French colonial regime and helped to protect the interests of African cocoa farmers against European colonialists. Number 28, Mauritania, Mokhtar Ould Daddah. Mokhtar Ould Daddah was the first president of Mauritania, serving from independence in 1960 until 1978. He led the country to independence from the French and worked to unite the country's ethnic and cultural groups. Number 27, Burkina Faso, Maurice Yameogo. Maurice Yameogo became the president in 1960 when Upper Volta, now Burkina Faso, achieved independence from France. He was a key figure in the country's struggle for independence, but he was overthrown in 1966 as he tried to create a one-party state and centralize power. Number 26, Niger, Hamani Diori. Hamani Diori was appointed president in 1960, the year the country gained independence from France. He was a key figure in the independence movement and the leader of the Nigerian Progressive Party. Number 25, Togo, Sylvanus Olympio. Sylvanus Olympio was the first president of Togo, serving from 1961 until his assassination in 1963. A key leader in the country's independence from the French, he became the prime minister in 1958 and then the president after independence. His presidency was cut short by a military coup, the first in sub-Saharan Africa, during which he was shot and killed. Number 24, Benin, Hubert Maga. Hubert Maga became the first president of Benin on August 1st, 1960, when the country gained independence from the French. He was overthrown in a military coup in 1963, only a few years after becoming the president. Number 23, Nigeria, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe. Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe was the leader of Nigeria's independence movement from the British and became the first president of Nigeria in 1963. He served as Nigeria's first president until he was overthrown in a military coup in 1966. Number 22, Liberia, Robert Joseph Jenkins. Robert Joseph Jenkins was an African-American settler who immigrated from the United States to Liberia and became a leading political figure in guiding Liberia towards independence. Though Liberia was never colonized, he is recognized as the founding father of Liberia, as his leadership helped establish Liberia's first independent republic. Number 21, Sierra Leone, Milton Margai. Milton Margai was among the key figures who guided Sierra Leone to independence from the British in 1961. He became the first Prime Minister of Sierra Leone soon after independence and helped unite Sierra Leone's diverse ethnic groups. Number 20, Cape Verde, Aristides Pereira. Aristides Pereira was the first president of Cape Verde, serving from 1975 to 1991. He helped lead the country's struggle for independence from Portugal. Number 19, the Gambia, Sir Dawda Kairaba Jawara. Sir Dawda Kairaba Jawara led the Gambia to independence from the British colonial rule in 1965. After independence, he became the country's first prime minister and later became the first president of the Gambia in 1970. Number 18, Guinea-Bissau, Amilcar Cabral. Amilcar Cabral was a revolutionary leader, an agronomist, and a nationalist who led the armed struggle against the Portuguese colonial rule and successfully organized one of the most effective liberation movements in Africa. Although he was assassinated in 1973, just months before Guinea declared independence, his leadership, vision, and ideology laid the foundation for the country's freedom. Number 17, Tanzania, Julius Nyerere. Mwalimu Julius Nyerere was the first president of Tanzania, uniting Tanganyika and Zanzibar in 1964. He introduced African socialism, or Ujamaa, emphasizing collective welfare and communal ownership through the Arusha Declaration of 1967. He later stepped down voluntarily in 1985, setting an example for peaceful transitions. Number 16, Kenya, Jomo Kenyatta. Mzee Jomo Kenyatta was a key figure in Kenya's struggle for independence from the British and served as Kenya's first prime minister in 1963 after independence, and later as the first president of Kenya from 1964 until his death in 1978. Number 15, Uganda, Milton Obote. Milton Obote led Uganda's struggle for independence from the British colonial rule in 1962. Through his party, the Uganda People's Congress, he became Uganda's first prime minister and his first executive president after Uganda became a republic in 1966. Number 14, Rwanda, Gregoire Kayibanda. Gregoire Kayibanda was the first elected president of Rwanda, serving from 1962 to 1973. He was a key figure in the Hutu-led revolution, replacing the Tutsi monarchy and leading the fight for independence from the Belgians. He was overthrown by a military coup in 1973 and died in detention 3 years later. Number 13, Burundi, Prince Louis Rwagasore. Prince Louis Rwagasore was a nationalist leader and the son of King Mwambutsa IV. He played a crucial role in uniting Burundians across ethnic lines to demand independence from the Belgian colonial rule. Through his leadership, Burundi achieved internal self-governance, with Rwagasore becoming the prime minister. Number 12, Comoros, Ahmed Abdallah. Ahmed Abdallah became the first president of the Comoros after he led the country to independence from the French on July 6, 1975. He played a key role in unifying the islands of Comoros into a single nation. Number 11, Somalia, Aden Abdallah Osman Dar. Aden Abdallah Osman Dar was the first president of Somalia, serving from 1960 to 1967. He played a key role in uniting the former British Somaliland and Italian Somaliland into a Somali Republic in 1960, marking the country's independence. Number 10, Djibouti, Hassan Goled Abtidon. Hassan Goled Abtidon became the president on June 27, 1977, the day the country gained independence from France. He also played a vital role in uniting the diverse ethnic groups in the country, mainly the Afar and Issa people. Number 9, Sudan, Salva Kiir. Salva Kiir Mayardit became the first president of South Sudan on July 9, 2011, following the country's independence from Sudan. Before independence, he was the president of the semi-autonomous government of South Sudan and the first vice president of Sudan. Number 8. Eritrea. Isaias Afwerki led Eritrea's struggle for independence from Ethiopia and became the first president of Eritrea in 1993 after the country gained independence from Ethiopia. He has been the first and the only president of Eritrea since independence. Number 7. Ethiopia. Emperor Menelik II. Emperor Menelik II is celebrated for uniting the various Ethiopian kingdoms and expanding the nation's borders to form the foundation for modern Ethiopia. Ethiopia does not have a single founding father in a modern sense since it was never colonized, but the leader most often regarded as the founding father of modern-day Ethiopia is Emperor Menelik II. Number 6. Seychelles. Sir James Manchan. Sir James Manchan was the first president of Seychelles, serving from the country's independence on June 29, 1976 until he was overthrown through a coup d'etat less than a year later in July 1977. He played a key role in guiding the Seychelles to independence from the British colonial rule. Number 5. Malawi. Dr. Hastings Kamuzu Banda. Dr. Hastings Kamuzu Banda led Malawi's struggle for independence from the British colonial rule and became the first prime minister of the country after independence in 1964. He would later become the first president when Malawi became a republic in 1966 and served until 1994. Number 4. Mauritius. Sir Siwasagur Ramgoolam. Sir Siwasagur Ramgoolam, often called the father of the nation, led Mauritius' struggle for independence from the British colonial rule on March 12, 1968. He served as the first Prime Minister of Mauritius from 1968 to 1982 and later as the Governor General from 1993 until his death in 1985. Number 3. Zambia. Kenneth Kaunda. Kenneth Kaunda was the first president of Zambia, leading the country to independence from the British colonial rule in 1964 and serving until 1991. Kaunda championed African unity, education, and economic self-reliance and was a prominent advocate of liberation movements across Africa. Number 2. Madagascar. Fulbert Siranana. Fulbert Siranana was the first president of Madagascar and served from 1959 until 1972 after he led the country's struggle for independence from the French colonial rule. He played a central role in establishing the nation's first republican government, laying the foundation of modern-day Malagasy. Number 1. Zimbabwe. Robert Mugabe. Robert Mugabe played a key role in Zimbabwe's struggle against the British colonial rule and white minority governance in what was then called Rhodesia. When Zimbabwe gained independence in 1980, Mugabe became the country's first prime minister and later became the president from 1987 to 2017. Thank you for watching this video to the end. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe as I bring you more information on the African continent, people, and culture.